Up until July 2015, this was the best image we'd ever taken of Pluto. Compared to the images we've taken of all the other planets, it's just really not up to scratch. And just to rub it in, this photo was taken with the Hubble Space Telescope, the most famous and one of the most powerful telescopes we ever had. But this image isn't even good enough to do most of the science with, let alone is it good enough to inspire people. Which is why NASA has been determined to get an even closer view of Pluto. In 2006, NASA launched the New Horizons space probe, whose mission was to go study and image Pluto like never before. And finally, 9 years later, New Horizons has finally made it to Pluto. It's been taking some incredible images of the surface of Pluto, the previous 9th planet in the solar system, to an unprecedented level that we'd never seen before. So, do you want to see what Pluto really looks like? Well, here it is. This is the most detailed image ever taken of Pluto. It was taken by New Horizons on Monday the 13th of July 2015 as it passed really close by to Pluto. And scientists have been studying this image as well as a couple taken over the last couple of days to try and learn more. So what have we learned about Pluto from just these few images taken over the last couple of days? Well, an instrument on board that can study the chemicals that are present down on the surface of Pluto have found that the north pole of Pluto there's a polar ice cap. But unlike the polar ice caps down here on Earth, which are made from frozen water, up on Pluto these ice caps are actually made of frozen nitrogen and frozen methane. We've also found that Pluto is much larger than we first thought. And yet, because it's much larger, this must mean that our models of the interior of Pluto must be wrong. To account for this increase in size, it must mean there's much more ice present underneath the surface of Pluto. You can also see lots of really interesting features on the surface of Pluto. You can see several craters which suggest that Pluto is actually being bombarded by meteors in its past. Because Pluto lies really far out in our solar system, in an area where there are lots of asteroids called the Kuiper belt, it's not really much of a surprise that Pluto has seen its fair share of collisions. There also seems to be evidence of valleys and mountains on the surface of Pluto, which suggests that its surface isn't that dissimilar from that of Earth's. But it's not just Pluto that's being photogenic. Charon, Pluto's largest moon, has also been photographed by New Horizons and has some mysteries of its own. There seems to be a really large crater down towards the south pole of Charon, with some really light material that seems to have been expelled from the crater. There's also a really large dark patch of terrain towards the north pole of Charon, and scientists still don't understand what this is. Finally, there seems to be a large number of valleys and canyons on the surface of Charon. One of these seems to be larger than the Grand Canyon down here on Earth. So while Pluto seems to be getting all the headlines at the moment, Charon definitely has some mysteries of its own for us to be able to solve. So New Horizons has already taken some incredible images of Pluto and Charon. But what's next for the little spacecraft? Well, it continues to do some flybys of Pluto, the next of which will happen today, on Tuesday the 14th of July. However, we won't see any of the data or the images at least until tomorrow, due to the amount of time it takes for the information to travel across the solar system. It'll also take lots of images and study the other moons of Pluto as well in even more detail, some of which have never even been studied before. But this all depends on New Horizons surviving its flyby of Pluto. NASA scientists are really worried that there could be lots of small pieces of ice and rock debris surrounding Pluto that New Horizons could hit. And even though these small pieces of debris are really small, because New Horizons is going so fast, hitting any of these could cause some devastating damage to the satellite. So we had better keep our fingers crossed that New Horizons manages to survive its flyby of Pluto. Hopefully all the latest images we have will allow us to understand Pluto and its moons even better, to understand what all the strange features on the surfaces are, and to take some more incredible, inspiring images of these mysterious worlds. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out the NASA website if you want any more information on the New Horizons video. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, why not leave a comment below, ask some questions or leave a comment or details about the New Horizons mission. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you guys all soon. In November last year, the small spacecraft Philae landed on the surface of the comet 67P. So Philae was part of the Rosetta mission by the European Space Agency. And everyone was really excited because this is the first time that we'd ever landed something on the surface of the comet deliberately.